So here we are back in Zombie, starting on round 6. Again, I think I started on round 6 last time. In Sandy's Dome this time because I was like, you know what? Played Town too many times. Let's play some Sandy's Dome. Pretty good map. SpongeBob, decent show. I like regular show more. I do like the PPSH though. It's probably one of my favorite guns. And as a self-improvement YouTuber, I'm kind of supposed to tell you, like, self-improvement works. Of course it works, you know what I mean? I do it and it worked. So many people do it. But does it work? Like, does it really do anything? That's the question that I want to talk about in this video, and I'm sure you read in the title. And I'm sure if you do self-improvement, you clicked on this to try and hear my point and either argue in the comments with me or agree with what I'm about to say. And if you don't do self-improvement, then I don't know, I guess you're just curious. But, so I've been doing self-improvement since I was 15. I started lifting, and then that spiraled into me, like, watching Hamza and shit, and learning about meditation and quitting prawn and overstimulating, how it's bad for you. And then I stopped doing this, and I started doing this. And I can say my mental space got better. Definitely did. But I'm thinking not just what am I trying to say here? Not just short-term self-improvement, because I like to think that's short-term. I felt so much change because I changed so much in a short period of time that of course my brain is going to think of life differently. It's going to react to how I'm living differently. But now that I've done it more long-term, I guess you could say, for over 2 years, I can't deny that it has become less effective. You know, it doesn't hit the same. Self-improvement doesn't hit the same after you do it for years. It more just becomes the way you live. And when things become, you know, monotonous like that, I guess you could say, maybe not monotonous, but routine for a long time, it just becomes the way things are. And then when that's the way things are, you don't really see it as change. You don't really see it as this thing you're doing that is affecting your life. You just see it as, yep, that's what I do when I wake up every day. I lift, I meditate, I read, whatever. In fact, when I stop doing the habits for a while and I come back, that's when I feel the most, like, I guess you could say, gratification and dopamine from self-improvement is when I quit for a while and then come back. It's kind of like you know how drug addicts, they'll quit for a while so then they can get back to it and they can feel it more. That's what happens inherently with self-improvement. So is self-improvement, is it kind of just tricking your brain is the question. And I guess I don't really have a yes or no answer. I wonder it myself, because as a self-improvement YouTuber, I'm supposed to say, no, it's a good way to live. It's how you should live, and it is how you should live. It feels the best. It keeps you the most healthy, mentally and physically, even if it is just tricking your brain. Like, the habits at hand are positive inherently, and you can't really argue that. Too many studies show that these habits do work and they are helpful, and that prawn is harmful and social media is harmful. So that isn't the question. That isn't the question of, is that stuff good? But is the way we do self-improvement really, like, really what we think it is? You know what I mean? Because I do think it kind of is tricking your brain. And then this is a side thing here that I do want to talk about, because it has kind of bothered me for a while. It's how I've noticed in the past year or so, self-improvement has gotten a lot more popular, and that's good. But because it's so mainstream, I guess you could say, it's kind of fake. It's become diluted, and it's just become kind of this false motivation thing, where you get a couple seconds of motivation, or a couple minutes, a couple hours even, maybe a full day of motivation, and you're like, you know, you just fall off inherently because you're not really ingraining these habits into yourself or this lifestyle into yourself. You just saw a TikTok of a Sigma male wolf and it motivated you, or you saw a TikTok of Batman talking about fucking, I don't know what he's talking about, but it motivated you. And that's really what it is. It doesn't come from deep-rooted want, a real drive to do better, to change your life, but it more comes from this, instant gratification area of your brain where you want that satisfaction of motivation. You know what I mean? Because motivation in itself, we think of it as the driving force to achieve something greater. But for a lot of people, motivation is the end goal. You want to feel that feeling. That is motivation, just because it feels good, not because you want to use it to really accomplish anything. But yeah. So self-improvement, you should do it, without a doubt. But don't treat it as if it's some fun new little thing you're doing in your life. Treat it as just the way you should live, because that way you're not gonna view it as like something you fall off of and get back onto. That's something I've mistakenly done a lot, is where I view it as less of just how I am and more of something that you do for a period of time. And when you do it like that, that's when it becomes a paradox. That's when it becomes a thing where it's like you're just doing this for a quick dopamine hit. That's why Tyler Durden says self-improvement is masturbation. And that's what he means by that, is when you do self-improvement in that way, where it just becomes a dopamine hit, then it is masturbation. It really is. But if you do it in a way where it's just the way you are, then it is not masturbation, because you aren't masturbation. Your name is Kyle. And if there's someone named Kyle watching this, please comment down below a pumpkin pie emoji. Is that an emoji? I have no clue. I have no clue if pumpkin pie is an emoji. But on that note, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.